Look on the wrists of young people, or in fact not so young people, and there's a good chance you'll see something like this, or even something like this. Old school digital and even analog watches are still popular. They're simple, they look cool, and if you get a classic looking Casio, they have that nostalgic retro look. Now people my age want them for nostalgic reasons because it's what was new when we were growing up. They were cool. And young people want them because fashion and accessories from that era are now cool and retro again. But there is another reason for it too. With a market flooded with flashing, beeping, attention-hogging smartwatches, there is a move from some towards minimalism. Lots of us now want fewer notifications, less reliance on a mini computer, and to be more in touch with ourselves and the real world around us. It's clear then, for whatever reason, smartwatches aren't seen as essential. They're just seen as flashing, beeping distractions. What if I told you though you can have the best of both worlds? You can have a mechanical, dumb watch, and one that's kitted out with lots of the latest high-end fitness tracking health tech. So instead of having all that attention hogging, pinging and distractions, you've got a watch that just tells the time on the surface and underneath provides you with useful, relevant and detailed health and fitness data. I'm Cam Bunton from Pocket-lint, and this is the Withings Scanwatch 2. And despite what it looks like, yep, this is a smartwatch of sorts, and it's really rather good. Looking at it from the outside, worn on the wrist, you'd be hard pushed to find any evidence that it's any kind of smartwatch at all. The stainless steel case is styled in a way to look like a regular analog watch, and it features physical watch hands mounted above a real watch face, complete with glow-in-the-dark accents to help you see it at nighttime. Not even the index and watch face are digital, they're fixed in place like any traditional watch. If you want a different colour or any form of choice over style or customization, your only option is to buy the colour and the size combination that you like. Now for larger wrists, there's a 42mm model which only comes in black or white, but you do get several strap styles, colours and materials to choose from to get your desired look. That could be leather, metal or fluoroelastomer. But there is a smaller 38mm model that comes with more colour choices. As smartwatches go, at least the 42mm size seems quite small to me, but then I'm accustomed to the quite chunky 44 to 45 watches. It's a good size though, and for me at least fits in that not too big, not too small bracket. It's also lightweight and very easy to wear for days and nights at a time, and I didn't once feel uncomfortable at night or feel the need to remove it except to charge or to shower. Now there is only one physical button, and just like a normal watch, this looks and acts more like a crown, except that it's not used for adjusting the time manually. That part is managed digitally and automatically by connecting to your smartphone. The crown is there to control the user interface, and this is where you get the first sense that you're looking at a smartwatch of some sort. Just above the center of the watch face, there's a small circular monochrome display. It lights up when the crown is pressed, and you can then use it to manually start workout activities or start an ECG reading, begin a breathing session, or look through the basic settings and options. You can also use it to check on any health indicators like your heart rate, your body temperature, your step count, or even the distance that you've walked and run. But that's about all there is to it. It's a very basic screen with a basic interface, making it both simple to use and easy to pretend that it's not there at all. The only other evidence of this being a piece of tech is on the underside where the health sensors live. To top it all off, the watch is also water resistant to high levels, rated up to 5 atmospheres or 50 meters, making it suitable for wearing in fresh water while swimming and any workout where it might get into contact with moisture, whether that be sweat or a sudden downpour. Now there is one important thing to know for anyone seriously considering buying a Scanwatch 2 as a fitness and health tracking tool. It doesn't have its own GPS built in. That's a little inconvenient, but for me, I don't think it's necessarily a deal breaker. But it does mean needing to carry your phone with you if you go for a run. When you start an outdoor activity, whether it be running, walking or cycling, it automatically starts up the route tracking on your connected phone and keeps the Withings app running in the background. It then uses your phone's GPS location data in combination with the motion, heart rate and temperature data on your wrist to build a comprehensive analysis of your workout. And for the most part, it's pretty accurate and gives you a good level of data once the run is complete. I only have one complaint about the activity tracking element of the watch, and that's when it comes to wearing it for high intensity workouts. It's an area of struggle for quite a few watches. It just struggled with high intensity kettlebell workouts, sometimes taking between 8 and 10 minutes into the workout to read an accurate, high reading. Spending that first chunk of time showing a reading that's more like what I'd expect to see when I'm just strolling gently on a flat path. Otherwise, when it comes to outdoor activities like walking, hiking, running and even playing football, the data was solid. Heart rate zones were exactly what I'd expect them to be, and having the body temperature feature was useful too, because it can then tell you when you've pushed yourself too hard based on how long you've spent with your body getting into a warmer temperature. And with a lot of smartwatches and trackers, there's a real feeling that what you're wearing on your wrist is some kind of fitness and performance coach. The way the data is displayed and prioritized, the closing of the rings, the running coaching plans, all of it geared towards making you a better athlete of whatever level. With the Withings, and because of the way the Withings Health Mate app is set up, it's more like you have an all-round health coach, or maybe even a medical professional, especially if you sign up for the Withings Plus premium subscription. Now, to get the absolute most out of it, of course, means having more than just the Withings Scanwatch on your wrist. I've been testing the watch alongside the BodyScan Smart Scale system, and combined, they give insight that's about as thorough as you can get without going to the doctor to get everything measured, poked, prodded and scanned. With the scales, you have your weight automatically logged, as well as your body composition, and see if you're affected to gain muscle and lose visceral fat, that's the fat around your organs, or body fat is working out. The watch on its own does plenty too. You can take ECG and blood oxygen saturation measurements on it to keep an eye on your heart health, and as part of the Withings Plus subscription, get access to something called a health improvement score. Now, this score is a combination of 4 key individual scores for different elements of your all-round health. These are your activity score, body score, heart score and sleep score. Activity score measures your daily activity, obviously, and is a score designed to help you move more and be more active. Body score measures your weight, your body composition, your nerve health, and if you have a dedicated thermometer accessory, your temperature. Heart score is another that gets better with added accessories like the smart scales. However, with the watch it can take into account your average resting heart rate, your sleep oxygen saturation average, and any data from ECGs that you perform on your wrist. And of course, sleep score is exactly what it sounds like. It analyzes your average sleep patterns, how long you sleep for, whether you have enough time in the different sleep stages, and if you have it enabled on the watch, any breathing disturbances in the night. All combined, you get about as comprehensive a view of your overall health as you'd hope for. And for the most part, I found that these all-day tracking averages to be pretty accurate. There's been a few nights where it struggled to measure my sleep properly, particularly if I woke in the night for 30 or 40 minutes randomly. In those, it would track maybe one chunk of sleep before I woke up and then not the other one afterwards. Still, of all the nights that I've tested it over the past couple of months, roughly, there was only about 3 or 4 that I felt that it got wrong. It's a solid all-day and all-night health tracking device. Now, the other big draw of a Scanwatch 2 is battery life. On a full charge, according to Withings, it can last up to 30 days before needing to be charged again. With settings that I'd enabled on the watch for more detailed sleep tracking, plus the fact they tracked an activity 4 or 5 times a week, at least when I wasn't ill, meant my own battery life wasn't quite that high, but it wasn't far off. Not that I ever really let it get completely flat anyway. What I found with notifications switched off, and on really quiet days with no manual activity tracking, was it could go 24 hours without losing any battery at all, sometimes as little as 1 or 2%. Throw a workout in the mix and obviously that goes up. I found myself charging it somewhere around every 3 or 4 weeks, with the battery at that point around 20%. In theory then, getting to 30 days between charges isn't all that unrealistic. Charging is probably one of the few inconveniences of the watch. It has its own quite unusual cradle, it doesn't charge wirelessly, but at least the cradle does use a universal USB-C connector to gain power. Now, in the end, for a lot of smartwatches, having fewer smart features would be a disadvantage. But for the Scanwatch 2, it's a major selling point. It's a watch that acts like a watch, but discreetly tracks your vitals and helps you make sense of your health and fitness without singing and shouting really loudly about it, or pushing you to close some rings every day. It doesn't have mobile payments, it doesn't have message replies or offline music, a full color screen, or even its own onboard GPS for tracking routes, but what it does have is infinite appeal for anyone wanting to avoid that pinging, noisy smartwatch market. It's like having a tech detox, without having to compromise or lose out on any health and fitness features. For this reason alone, I've been finding it incredibly difficult to want to put my Apple Watch, my Garmin, Huawei, Samsung or Pixel Watch back on my wrist. It's been a breath of fresh air. And it's very calming for the mind too. Let me know what you think of Withings' efforts in the smartwatch market in the comments down below, or you can get me on Threads. I'm at Cam Bunton. If you did like this video, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe and tap the notification bell, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.